Let's talk about meditation. I truly believe that meditation is the secret sauce with all of this, with the path of consciousness, with microdosing, macrodosing, that, the key to wellness, that this is, again, the secret sauce. I'm going to break down why that's the case. I'm going to break down how to meditate, the scientific benefits, at least how I understand them, and it's my hope that, and some cultural context as well. I believe that when we are taking a psychedelic, microdose or macrodose, that the psychedelics have a benevolent spirit. I know that sounds a little bit woo-woo. I believe that the spirit of psilocybin is benevolent. It wants us all to be healthy, happy, and strong. It wants us to be doing the work that we're here to do, connecting on a deep heart and soul level. And that it's trying to communicate that there's a doorway inside of us. And yeah, that high dose experience can show us that doorway. And that's why, that people have these profound experiences, miraculous experiences. I mean, the data at Johns Hopkins, NYU, Harvard, Imperial College of London is staggering. It's profound. How people are able to find peace and healing and letting go. That they're able to access maybe that doorway inside to deeper meaning, deeper awareness, deeper clarity. We're getting a little bit philosophical again, a little bit nuanced here. Having access maybe to the soul or deep levels of maybe heartfelt awareness that we wouldn't ordinarily be able to have in this kind of waking state reality that we're in right now, where there's just too much stress and there's too much responsibility and too much, again, kind of heaviness kind of weighing us down from accessing those realms. Again, we're getting pretty nuanced, pretty spiritual here, but I truly believe that these medicines are communicating to us that there's a doorway inside, and that we have access to that doorway all the time by sitting down, sitting on the cushion, and doing some meditation. That we can build that reliance, we can access that, or something close enough to that. So often people start on the path of psychedelia really hot and heavy. I know I did. I had lots of high dose experiences from 2013 to 2018. Didn't count them, but probably 50 to 75. And that was a big part of my healing. And there wasn't really coaches or information out there, and there wasn't all these podcasts back when I started. And that was something that I needed to do. But there was a point where the phone stopped ringing. I was like, I'm good. What was my original intention? Was to heal and to feel love and connection and freedom and to live my dream life. I'm living my dream life. And that kind of desire to do the high dose experience has fallen to the wayside. And of course, if the phone started ringing again, I'm sure that I would answer it again. But people often gravitate towards the meditation path. It's maybe a little bit easier, a little bit less, maybe easier is not the right word. It's a little bit less volatile. And we can get into consistent grooves and rhythms in our daily lives. For me, after I had my profound healing with ayahuasca back in Costa Rica in 2015, late 2014, early 2015, I had marching orders to meditate every day and to journal my thoughts and to cultivate awareness and to find, positive mentors in my life to help me grow and to help me ground this energy to integrate it into my daily life. And the meditation was a big challenge. I remember, and I wrote about this in depth in my book, Worth the Fight, about how noisy my inner shit talker got. I love how Marie Forleo, she calls it our inner shit talker. And it's so true. We all have an inner saboteur, an inner shit talker. And while I was doing this meditation, I think I was in between day 30 and 40, where my mind went silent. And it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my entire life. But before that, it was like 5 to 10 days of sitting with some really nasty self-talk, that I was talking to myself in a way that I would never talk to my worst enemy. And there was so much self-hatred and self-loathing, and again, an inner saboteur. You're not worthy of this. You won't get this done. You'll fail at this. You'll amount to nothing. All these really negative thoughts. And I got really curious about that. Why is that the case? Where did that come from? So the deeper the deeper I got into my meditation practice, the more awareness. This is an awareness practice. So the more awareness I had about my thoughts, and the more curiosity I had. What the heck is going on here? Maybe I felt some of the boldness and the brazenness and the heart expansion from the ayahuasca journey, and having a visionary experience where I could kind of see a way out of my personal hell of the mind. And I knew that if I took this serious and I meditated every day and I journaled every day and I deepened into my yoga practice, that I would eventually have freedom. And yeah, I've got the freedom. It's been 10 years. I'm on the other side of that journey and that challenge. And meditation is meant so much to me on this path. And there was that moment of grace, I think it was day 30, between day 30 and day 40, where it hit me, where my mind went really, really quiet. And I had this awareness of if this were taken away from me, I would be really upset. I would fight for it. This is something that is deeply meaningful. I don't have to do it. I get to do it. I think there's a big shift in mind frame there, that I get to practice peace. And I think meditation is a way that I honor my connectedness to my higher power. I show devotion. We can all talk, blah, 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 but sitting in spiritual practice, meditating, doing breath work, journaling our thoughts, getting out in nature, exercising, moving our body, those are all actions that I think send a signal to our higher power saying, hey, yeah, we're in this, we're doing this, and we're committed to the journey. And we're ready for more insight. We're ready for more responsibility. We're ready for more clarity on the path. And, when here we are in 2026, frantic pace. I think we've hit an inflection point with AI. Things have gotten really, really fast. They're going to continue to get really, really fast. So we're pushing back against BS Inc., taking time to slow down, to connect to our breath, and to tune out the noise, to tune out what's inside, to tap into our intuition. I often challenge my clients and challenge myself when we sit for a 20-minute meditation. Let's say we do a letting go meditation. I am letting go. I am on the up breath, letting go. We say this in the silence of our own minds for 20 minutes. So we do this beautiful, peaceful letting go meditation. What were the intrusive thoughts that were coming in? What were the fears? Maybe the traumas, the stories. Was your inner dialogue talking to you? And getting clear on that. I think that stacking the journaling on top of a meditation practice or prayer practice or breathwork practice can be extraordinarily powerful, because there's insights. What is coming up? What are your fears? What is the problem? What are we trying to solve? And then we put that onto paper, and then we can start to work through whatever that challenge is, whatever is coming up on our heart. I always say that meditation is a way that we can still our mind, or still our monkey mind, our BS incorporated monkey mind. That we don't always believe what is in our mind. There's chaos in our respective minds often, and there's fears, there's worries, there's doubts, there's insecurities. There's all of the cultural conditioning and programming. Again, what I affectionately call bullshit incorporated. But when we quiet our mind, we can start to tap into our heart. And I believe that the heart knows. The poets have been saying it for thousands of years. I know that's a little bit romantic of a notion, again, nuanced, maybe philosophical. But I believe the heart does know, and that this is a practice that will help us get into that heart awareness, so we can lead with our heart. We can lead with courage. And from that heart-centered awareness, I think that we're more likely to prime prosperity pathways. We're more likely to see the path ahead, envision the bold next steps that we need to make. We create space for the ahas, the revelations, the eureka moments, and also the uh-ohs, as Dr. Richard Rumont said. And I love that comment, that it's not always roses, rainbows, and unicorns. Sometimes we have, while we're sitting in meditation and we're working with the medicine, we'll have awareness, painful awareness about maybe what can be let go of, where we're missing the mark, how we're sabotaging our dreams. That's not always an aha. That can be an uh-oh. There's work to do. We've got to make adjustments. I love how Tim Ferriss, I believe I heard him share on his podcast. He's known as the Oprah of audio. He's had millions, maybe billions of downloads by now. And he had said that, and he's had 700 or 800 of the world's most preeminent performers, influencers in the world, from every aspect of every field, every discipline. He's had Jerry Seinfeld, Tony Robbins, people from the athletic world. Let's see, there's a bunch of other. I mean, you just look at his incredible, library of guests. Jamie Foxx comes to mind as a really profound episode. He's had a lot of the actors, and again, the people that are at the highest of their field. And I remember Jerry Seinfeld being on the podcast, and he was sharing how he does transcendental meditation. He's been doing it for 40 some years, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the afternoon, and he does it ad hoc if he ever feels like he's off of his vibration. He's just not in a dialed in, or if he's lacking focus. So he's one of the greatest high performers that I think we all revere. He's integrated grumpiness into his life, into his comic routine, and we all love the way he makes us laugh, makes us feel good. And again, he's an integrated human, fully authentic, and the way that he approaches his meditation practice was profound for me to hear that, as somebody who's climbed probably one of the hardest mountains to climb. I know I did stand-up comedy. I did 6 courses at the Second City and got up on stage. That was part of my Facing My Fear bucket list challenge. And a lot of respect for comedians. And it's not easy work to make people laugh. And the craft of working at it is, the comics are relentless. They have to be relentless. There's a lot of late nights. I would probably still be pursuing it if I wasn't going to sleep at 8 p.m. every night, getting up at 5 a.m. As that is part of cutting your teeth in the world of comedy. You're doing open mics and you're staying out late. And I digress. But again, 99% of Tim Ferriss's guests had said that they meditate, have some form of meditation, and these are the biggest high performers on planet Earth. They're clearly taking time to meditate, to downregulate their nervous system, to prime prosperity pathways, to check in. Again, why are we here? What is our work to do? Are we in alignment today? Are we missing the mark? What adjustments can be made? Where are we leaking energy? These are all questions I think that are really relevant for our meditation practice. And again, meditation creates space. This practice, and you don't have to do 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon like Jerry Seinfeld. But if you start with 10 minutes, maybe get that to 20 minutes once a day, and to know that we can utilize this as a tool whenever we feel like we're off or dysregulated. Put the cushion out and sit down. Turn the phone on airplane mode. I'll often grab a essential oil, peppermint or something like that, or eucalyptus, lavender. And that'll help me kind of anchor into the present moment. I'll just follow my breath. I am letting go. Do that for 20 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes an hour. And I always feel really, really good afterwards. And so often there's striking insight, there's clarity. Oh, I got to do that. Oh, I got to write that down. Oh, I got to text that person. Got to give her a call. She's on my heart. Got to reach out to her. Again, it's a way that we're getting out of our head, out of the chaotic monkey mind, out of the BS Inc. cultural programming and conditioning. We're getting into our heart, where we can be more clear about what's in alignment, what lights us up, what excites us, what are our values, what's in alignment. Again, we do more of that, more of what works, less of what doesn't. And this is a practice to get clarity on what's working and what isn't. And then we can cut the rest, the 80-20 principle. We get clear on our 20% genius, the actions that move the needle, and then we can get clear on what isn't moving the needle. We try our best to cut the rest. And that's essentially the growth path right there. Simplified, but what I believe to be true. This is a practice, an approach that will help us. And that's what I've done for the last decade, is I take time to meditate, to tend to my breath, tend to my nervous system, to process emotions, to utilize the journal as a way to process heaviness or emotions, to get clear on my emotions, and to get clear on what I can let go of. The science of meditation, it's my understanding that, when we're doing that 20-minute or that 30-minute meditation or that 10-minute meditation, and we're focusing on our breath or a mantra, when we are engaging a thought or a story or a narrative or an emotion, and we find ourselves that we're not breathing or we're not connected to our mantra, that it's in the breath and it's in those thoughts that there's the neuroplasticity, there's the rewiring that is happening when we do have a thought and we have that conscious awareness. Oh, I'm thinking right now. Oh, I'm meditating. So I'm going to come back to the breath, back to the mantra. That's the benefit. So a lot of people are kind of turned off. Oh, my mind is so noisy. So I always say that it doesn't matter if we have 50 thoughts during that 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 10 minutes, or whether we have 5,000 thoughts. What matters is when we recognize that we're in a thought, a story, a narrative, an emotion, we just come back to the breath, back to the mantra without judgment. That's all. That's the practice. And each time we find ourselves in thought and we come back to the breath and to the mantra, we create subtle expansion from our thoughts so we can more consciously respond to life stressors as opposed to unconsciously reacting. And it's a really, really, really minute space, expansive space that we're creating each time we practice. And it's not going to happen. Magical things aren't going to happen in the first few times that we practice. We might feel good and it's going to be like, okay, this might be something that's worth pursuing. Again, you're going to have to battle that inner saboteur, that inner shit talker that Marie Forleo talks about. But in time, we create that expansion. Then we start to realize, whoa, I'm not reactive. I'm much more peaceful. And we start to have these ahas when we're in our daily lives. We start to see, again, the behavioral change. And then we start to believe in, whoa, there's something powerful here. Again, we're creating subtle expansion from our thoughts and life stressors so we can more consciously respond as opposed to unconsciously react. That's the magic of meditation. That's why I believe that this is the secret sauce to a spiritual path, to living a vibrant, healthy life. This is the secret sauce to priming prosperity pathways, expanding our service impact, going all in, living our dream life, doing the work that we're here to do, serving our clients, spreading the love, the peace, all of it comes from meditation. Hopefully you found value in this. I'd love to hear your thoughts and impressions if I missed anything, or if there's other strategies that might be helpful and beneficial. I do encourage anyone that is seeking a meditation practice to keep trying different meditations until you find something that works. I know I had listened to hundreds of guided meditations. I did the meditate with Oprah and meditate with Deepak Chopra and this and that guru and this and that. And it was meditating with David G on SoundCloud when that letting go meditation was the one that just clicked. I was like, well, this is the easiest one. This is the one I'm going to stick with. And this is something that I want to get good at, letting go, because there's so much bullshit in our world. And for us to let go of that so we can see more clearly. We can let go of our fears, let go of the pain, let go of the shame, let go of our insecurities, to clear energetic space for new aligned blessings, pathways. Again, I hope you found value in this. So much love to all of you. Love and peace. See you tomorrow.